In a world full of AI companions and these endless social media feeds, you have to wonder, what does a real, authentic human connection actually look like anymore? So today, we're going to dive into a model that puts soul-to-soul interaction right at the very center of our purpose. And really, this whole thing kicks off with this incredibly powerful question. I mean, think about it. We have technology that can simulate friendship, right? It can respond to us, it can remember our favorite movies, and it never gets tired of listening. But can that simulation ever give us what our souls actually need? This question really frames our entire exploration.
And this is where you can really see the difference. On one hand, you've got a transactional relationship. An AI responds, it logs our data, it's always available. But on the other side, well, that's the messy, beautiful reality of human connection. It demands mutual sacrifice, the patience to forgive someone when they mess up, and the real commitment to grow together. These aren't just functions on a list, they're virtues.
Okay, so this gets right to the heart of it. Our need for connection, it just goes so far beyond what data and algorithms can ever provide. It's really about what the human soul fundamentally requires to thrive.
And from the Baha'i perspective, this isn't just some nice poetic sentiment. It's literally why we're here. We are created for relationship, not to just be nodes in a network, but as hearts and souls that are actually designed to connect, to understand, and to care for each other on a really deep spiritual level. So when we talk about what's missing from AI, we're really talking about these spiritual qualities. And, this isn't some mystical, vague idea. It's about tangible virtues that are forged in a relationship. Things like patience, forgiveness, encouragement. You can't download these things. They have to be built together through shared experience.
This quote from Abdu'l-Baha, who's a central figure in the Baha'i faith, just illustrates this journey we're all on so brilliantly. It suggests we're kind of standing at this unique crossroads, and that sincere, heartfelt human interaction. That's the very thing that moves us from a purely material existence toward our spiritual potential. It's not just an activity, it's the actual process of our development.
All right, so if connection is that essential, then how in the world do we actually build it? Let's take a look at a practical model for forging unity, one relationship at a time.
And this is the vision. This quote from Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, frames unity not as some lofty ideal, but as a powerful, transformative force that's literally capable of lighting up the entire world. It's an incredibly hopeful and ambitious goal.
So here's the crucial point. Unity isn't something that just magically happens. It's not an abstract concept we can all just agree on and call it a day. It has to be actively constructed. It's built in the real world, through face-to-face conversations and by working side by side for the good of our communities.
Now, let's shift gears and get really practical. How does this actually work? What are the building blocks that turn this vision of unity into a living, breathing reality for a community?
So, here we have 4 core activities that are absolutely central to the Baha'i model. And you start to see a theme here, don't you? Devotional gatherings, study circles, kids' classes, junior youth groups, they are all relational by design. These aren't lectures, they're spaces built for interaction. They depend on people showing up, being present, listening with empathy, and sharing a common goal. This is where those spiritual qualities we just talked about are actually practiced and made stronger. And the engine that really drives all of these gatherings is a tool called consultation. At its core, it's a collective process where a group reads and reflects on spiritual texts, they work together to reach a common understanding, and then they consult on what actions they can take to help their community. It's all about learning and doing together. So let's circle all the way back to where we started. On one side, you have AI interaction. It's algorithmic, it's impersonal, and ultimately it offers no real path for spiritual growth. But soul-to-soul engagement, the kind that's fostered in these community-building activities, is rooted in empathy, it requires our genuine presence, and it's driven by a shared spiritual purpose. The difference couldn't be more profound. So, when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here? Well, the core idea is that our spiritual development, our path to becoming more fully human, it happens in community. It doesn't happen in isolation, staring at a screen. And this leads us to an invitation. The sources we've looked at today extend a really warm and open invitation. For anyone who's concerned about finding deeper connection for themselves or for their families, the suggestion is pretty simple. Go see it for yourself. Find a local Baha'i community and just observe how these principles of unity and service are being put into practice, day in and day out. And that really leaves all of us with a final question to think about. We've looked at one model today, but this underlying need for connection, it's universal. In a world that so often feels disconnected, it's really worth asking ourselves,
What does true, authentic, soul-to-soul community look like in our own lives? Thanks for joining me.